All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? So thanks again for joining us. My name is Amanda Barker, and I am the Clean Energy Program Manager here at Green Energy Consumers Alliance. And tonight we are going to be talking to you all about connected solutions and specifically the smart thermostat pathway in connected solutions. This webinar is being sponsored by both Eversource and National Grid, the two main program administrators of Connected Solutions in Massachusetts. And thankfully, we have someone from National Grid on the call tonight, David, who you'll hear from in a little bit. But for now, I would love if my colleague Ayumi could introduce herself as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ayumi. I am an Energy Programs Associate here at Green Energy Consumers. And tonight I'm going to be presenting to you on smart thermostats and the Connected Solutions program. And I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Becca, to introduce herself as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Becca. I'm also an Energy Program Associate at Green Energy Consumers, and I will be watching the chat for any tech issues, so feel free to chat me, and I will do my best to help.
Awesome. Thank you both. And we can move to the next slide. Great. So just want to notify you all that this webinar is being recorded. And so by continuing on with this webinar, you are consenting to being recorded as well. Although I will note everyone is muted and off camera, so there shouldn't be any concerns there. But we will be sending around the recording afterwards in case you want to look back on anything that we talk about. Zoom basics, so everyone is muted throughout the webinar. We will answer questions at the end of the presentation, so if you do have a question come up while we're presenting, feel free to use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to them at the end. Again, this webinar is being recorded and will be sent in a follow-up email along with the slides and any other resources that we discussed today. And lastly, if you would like to use closed captions, you can click CC at the bottom of your screen to enable those. Agenda for today. So we are going to start off by introducing Green Energy Consumers Alliance, Eversource, and National Grid. Again, those are the two program administrators of the Connected Solutions program. And we will explain what is the Connected Solutions program. We will then go into smart thermostat basics of how the technology works and the benefits of the technology. We will then jump into a guide on how to enroll your smart thermostat in Connected Solutions. And lastly, we will have a frequently asked questions slide. And then again, we'll be available for Q&A at the end of the presentation. Next slide. So to introduce Green Energy Consumers Alliance, in case you're not familiar with us, we are a nonprofit organization based in both Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Providence, Rhode Island. We work across both states, and our mission is to empower consumers and communities to speed a just transition to a zero carbon world. So we do that through both programs and advocacy. So our programs are all consumer-facing educational programs, helping consumers navigate and access clean energy. We do a lot of educational webinars like this one. We also have webinars on heat pumps, electric vehicles, all that good stuff. In case you are learning more, definitely encourage you to check out our events page on our website. On the advocacy side, we have two policy advocates, one in Massachusetts and one in Rhode Island, and they help advocate for climate policies to help make things like heat pumps and electric vehicles and batteries more accessible. Next slide. So to introduce Eversource, again, Eversource is one of the program administrators of the Connected Solutions program, and they are one of the main utilities in Massachusetts. But they also work in New Hampshire and Connecticut. They serve 4.6 million electric and natural gas customers. They have over 10,000 employees, and they have been ranked #1 in energy efficiency and have made over 725 million investments in energy efficiency. And the Mass Save program is one of their big investments in Massachusetts. And the ConnectedSolutions program that we're talking about tonight is under that Mass Save umbrella. Next slide. And now I'll pass it off to David to introduce National Grid.
Thank you, Amanda. Good evening, everyone. Really a pleasure to be with all of you today to present and to speak about what we think is one of the best programs in the energy portfolio of MassSave. My name is David Roman Ubida. I am program manager for ConnectedSolutions in Massachusetts. I work for National Grid, one of the program administrators of ConnectedSolutions, and we have almost 2.1 million between electric and gas customers in Massachusetts, and we are one of the distribution companies that administrate the Mass Save program, and really looking forward to any questions or any kind of clarification that you may have related with ConnectedSolutions. And I'm gonna pass now the baton to Ayumi.
All right, thank you so much, David. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is our presentation on everything you need to know about the ConnectedSolutions Smart Thermostat program and also everything you'd want to know about smart thermostats. So to start us off, what is ConnectedSolutions? So ConnectedSolutions is a program that was designed by utilities to reduce strain on the electricity grid during the hottest days of the year, also known as peak demand days. The ConnectedSolutions program was built to reduce strain on the grid by getting households or businesses with smart thermostats or battery storage to enroll their device in the program and collectively participate in reducing energy demand on the grid through a bring your own device model. Utilities will then pay their customers to participate in the program through annual incentives that you get to collect at the end of the year. So the ConnectedSolutions program aims to solve this problem of peak demand. But what is peak demand and why should we care about it? So peak demand refers to these spikes in energy demand that occur when many people start using a lot of electricity all at once. So this happens on a daily basis, as you can see in this graph, where energy use spikes between 5 to 7 p.m., usually after people get home from work and they start using their AC, running a load of laundry, cooking dinner, etc. When electricity demand spikes, the grid relies more on its dirtiest and most expensive power sources, including oil and gas-fired peaker plants, to meet that additional demand. This also happens on a seasonal basis when temperatures are very high or when we have heat waves like we did this past weekend, where people are using significantly more electricity to keep themselves cool. So peak demand is important for a couple of reasons. The first is that it contributes to expensive energy prices, which is important especially during a time when energy affordability is a major thing on people's minds. And two, it leads to negative health and environmental impacts for the region. So fossil fuel powered peaker plants only contribute a fraction of our electricity over the course of the year, but are significantly more expensive to run, which leads to higher energy costs for consumers, and are also extremely polluting, which leads to increased local air pollution and negative health impacts on local communities. So as you can see in this graph, as peak load increases, or you can think of it as the amount of electricity demand that is needed to meet the needs of Massachusetts customers, the average price per megawatt hour of electricity increases. And at the same time, the number of emissions or metric tons of CO2 that are emitted per each kilowatt also increases. So now that we've covered why it's important, let's talk about what you can do about it. So just a quick plug for one of our own programs, but if you're looking to maximize your impact, you can also join Green Energy Consumers Shave the Peak program. ConnectedSolutions helps reduce peak demand automatically through your smart thermostat or battery system, but Shave the Peak helps you stay informed and gives you additional ways to reduce usage during peak hours by sending you notifications about when a peak demand event is about to happen. All right. So without further ado, let's get into why you're here this evening. So the star of today's webinar is our friend, the smart thermostat. So smart thermostats are one of the two technologies that ConnectedSolutions utilizes in their program to lower peak energy demand. Smart thermostats are Wi-Fi enabled devices that allow you to control your home's heating and cooling through your mobile device. What sets it apart from a regular thermostat is its ability to connect to the internet. A typical programmable thermostat is one where you manually set the heating and cooling schedules, and they stay the same until you go in and change them. And you can only do this from your home by plugging it into the thermostat itself. With smart thermostats, you're able to adjust them from anywhere, whether you are in another state or even in another country, as long as you have internet access. On top of that, a smart thermostat is able to learn your preferences and make automatic adjustments to the heating and cooling system to maximize your energy use for when you need it most. So the benefits of smart thermostats are that you can control it from anywhere with internet access. It can optimize your energy use and help you save money. It has data tracking that allows you to stay on top of your system performance and get alerts if something is off. And it can make automatic adjustments for you when your system runs, so you don't need to manually go in and change it every time. So the average cost to purchase and install a smart thermostat in Massachusetts is about $200 to $500. However, there are a number of rebates and incentives that can bring that cost way down, including mass save rebates and home energy assessments. And of course, if you participate in ConnectedSolutions, your thermostat will help you earn annual and enrollment incentives that you can get just by participating. So if you don't have a smart thermostat yet, the good news is that installing one is often very straightforward. There are several incentives that can help reduce the upfront cost and support you through the installation process. The MassSave Marketplace provides a list of Energy Star certified smart thermostats and their eligible rebates so you can get the best price possible. In addition, MassSave offers an instant rebate of up to $100 if you purchase a smart thermostat from their marketplace. So you can see some of these go for as low as $4.99 a piece, which is pretty affordable, I'd say. So the installation process typically involves a pre-approval check, scheduling an appointment with a verified installer, a final verification to ensure proper operation, and getting an on-site visit ensures that the thermostat can communicate with your HVAC system, the app is configured correctly, and the user preferences are loaded and ready to go. Most installations are usually completed within 1 to 3 hours, depending on your system complexity and access to wiring. So it's important to note that smart thermostats on their own don't necessarily require a home to have central cooling, but the ConnectedSolutions program does. So a smart thermostat can be installed in a home that has a heating or cooling system that is controlled by a thermostat. So for example, not a window AC unit. But whether a system is compatible with a smart thermostat is dependent on a few factors, including voltage, which most smart thermostats support 24-volt systems, but not high voltage or mini volt systems. You need to make sure you also have the correct wiring. So a C wire or a common wire is often required for proper connection between the heating and cooling system and the smart thermostat. Some smart thermostats do come with adapters, or those adapters can be purchased separately. So if you don't have one already, that may not be an issue for you. And system type also matters. So features like multi-stage heating and cooling, heat pumps, or dual fuel setups might require specific models and or professional installation. So once you have a smart thermostat, or if you already have one, we've created a guide for you for how to enroll it in the ConnectedSolutions program. So the program itself consists of the following. You get a $50 sign-on bonus or $100 if you're an income-eligible customer, plus $200 in annual performance reward for residential customers, or $200, sorry, did I say $200? $20 in annual performance reward for residential customers, or $200 for small business customers. And then you get that in the form of a prepaid Visa card that's sent to your email. Usually the events are between 10 to 20 per season, and that season happens from June through September. And To be eligible, you must be an Eversource or National Grid customer with a qualifying smart thermostat hooked up to a central cooling system. It's important to note that customers in select areas may be eligible for increased incentives with different frequency and duration of events through the ConnectedSolutions Plus program. This enhanced program is offered to select areas around Massachusetts where the grid is more constrained. And you can learn more about if your city or town is eligible by looking at your program pages on your utilities website. So your first step in enrolling in ConnectedSolutions would be to confirm that you're eligible. So in this case, that means you are A, a residential or small business customer of National Grid or Eversource, and B, that you have one of the following smart thermostats hooked up to a central cooling system. So on the right here is a list of all qualifying thermostats that you can find. And you can find this list looking at the ConnectedSolutions program page on your utilities website as well. So an essential eligibility requirement, and one that people are often confused about, is that your thermostat needs to be hooked up to a central cooling system. So this is probably one of the most common questions that people have about eligibility. So we're going to try to break this down as simply as we can. So what is a central cooling system? A central cooling system is one that cools the entirety or almost the entirety of your home. And you can tell if your system is central because it has the following components. It has an air diffuser, a thermostat, obviously, a return air filter, an indoor fan coil unit, and an outdoor condenser unit and ductwork. So, for example, if your system looks like this with an outdoor condenser unit and ductwork that connects the air vents in your home, you most likely have a central cooling system. And this can also include heat pumps, just not heat pump mini splits. So ineligible systems would look like this. So zoned cooling systems, such as these wall-mounted or ceiling-mounted mini splits, would not be eligible because they only cool one room or one area of your home per unit. So it's worth noting that our program administrators are trying to work on a way to integrate mini splits into ConnectedSolutions, but we haven't worked that out yet, but you should definitely stay tuned for that when that happens. All right, so once you've confirmed that you are eligible, you can enroll your thermostat. So most eligible manufacturers will indicate on their website or app if your thermostat is able to be enrolled and will provide you with next steps for if you'd like to enroll. So this looks a little bit different depending on your manufacturer. So for example, Sensi has a page linked through their website that allows you to enroll your smart thermostat by inputting your information in a form. Other thermostat manufacturers may also have the enrollment form through their website, and you would either have to go through a login or just go directly through their webpage and input your customer information. Others, such as Ecobee, have a process enabled directly through the mobile app. So to find out which process your manufacturer has, you can look at your utilities ConnectedSolutions smart thermostat page and click on the smart thermostat manufacturer that you have to find out how to enroll through their system. And then once you have been accepted into the program, you'll receive your enrollment bonus approximately 4 to 6 weeks after. That enrollment incentive, again, is $50 to $100 depending on your income eligibility. And your enrollment incentive will arrive in the form of a virtual prepaid visa in your email. And then if you don't redeem that in your email after 2 weeks of receiving it, they'll send you a physical card in the mail. So once you've enrolled in the program, you're ready to participate and start earning incentives. So the season goes from June through September and operates on a typical business schedule, so not on weekends or holidays. Over the course of the summer, your utility will send a signal to your system to let you know an event is about to happen. And this will occur anywhere from 10 to 20 times per summer, although the frequency may vary for participants in the ConnectedSolutions Plus program. These events will typically last around 2 to 3 hours, and you can opt out of an event at any time without penalty. So again, the way that this works is when an event is about to happen, you'll receive a notification from your thermostat manufacturer approximately an hour beforehand. At this point, your thermostat will begin its pre-cool process, which will lower the set temperature of your thermostat by a couple degrees. And then once the event begins, the set temperature will increase by 3 to 4 degrees to offset the energy demand on the grid. You're able to opt out of the event at any point after you've been notified, including during the pre-cool process. This will not have an impact on the incentive amount that you receive at the end of the summer, but just know that once you opt out of the event, you cannot opt back in. And then at the end of the year, you'll receive your incentive payments for participating. Again, this will also be in the form of a prepaid Visa that you will receive in your email and then as a physical card in the mail. In order to receive your participation incentive, you have to enroll by August 15th of that year. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it. So that still gives you several months buffer. So if you haven't enrolled by the start of the season, no need to worry. You can still enroll and still get the participation incentive. And that incentive is $20 for residential customers and $200 for small business customers. Great. And so these are some frequently asked questions for the Connected Solutions program and for smart thermostats that I'm just going to go over with you really quick. So first is, how much would I save by switching to a smart thermostat? So Energy Star has conducted a study that shows that smart thermostats have been found to reduce electric bills by an average of 8% annually, which amounts to approximately $130 a year in savings. But this, of course, is dependent on your the energy efficiency of your home. So if you have made energy efficient upgrades, such as improving your insulation or things like that, you'll definitely see the benefits more than if you have, say, a drafty house with poor insulation. Which cooling systems are eligible for Connected Solutions? So once again, only ducted or central cooling systems can participate in the program. Mini split heat pumps aren't yet eligible at this time. Can you opt out of an event? Yes, you can absolutely opt out of an event at any point, even during the pre-cooling period without any penalty. And just remember, when you opt out, you are automatically opted out for the entire event. Can I enroll in Connected Solutions even after the season has started? Absolutely. You can enroll in the program at any time. The only thing to note is that if you enroll after August 15th for that season, you will not be eligible to receive the participation incentive. But you will be able to receive the participation incentive for the following season, and you will still get your enrollment bonus. How do I know which incentive rate I qualify for? So your incentive rate is tied to your electric account rate, which is listed on your electricity bill that you can find if you just pull up your electric bill. It'll tell you if you're a regular residential rate on the R1 rate, which would be a $50 enrollment bonus and $20 participation rate. On the income eligible rate, that's the R2 rate, you would get $100 for enrollment and $20 after each summer. And then for small and medium-sized businesses on the G1 or G2 rate, you would get a $50 enrollment bonus and $200 for participating each summer. So here's what participants in Connected Solutions are saying. Generally have very positive feedback, and there really aren't a lot of downsides to being enrolled, especially given that you don't get penalties for opting out of any of the events. All right, so that's all we have for the presentation portion tonight. Thank you all so much for listening. We're going to transition to our Q&A session, but before that, I wanted to bring this to your attention. So we have created a survey that's collecting feedback on behalf of the program administrators for Connected Solutions to help inform how the program continues to evolve over time. So if you're interested in having a say in how Connected Solutions take shape in the coming years, please take 5 minutes to fill out the survey and let us know all your unfiltered opinions. My colleague Becca will also be dropping it in the chat for you so that you can use that link if you prefer. And I'm going to pass it back to Amanda. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ayumi. So now we will move to the Q&A portion. So if you do have questions, feel free to throw them into the Q&A function and we will be sure to get to them. So we have one question, Ayumi, asking, this person, I guess, has both a heat pump with like a central heat pump, as well as some mini splits. Do you know if they would still be eligible for the program if they have that sort of combo set up?
Yes, I think as long as you have a heat pump that is connected to central air and that is also linked to an eligible smart thermostat, that segment of your setup would be eligible for the program. Absolutely.
Awesome. That sounds great. Another question that we got is, if folks have more than one smart thermostat, are they able to enroll more than one, or can they only do one?
So technically, the program allows you to enroll up to 3 thermostats per household, I believe. So theoretically, if you had more than one, you would be able to enroll all of them.
Awesome. Good
At
to
least
know.
up to 3.
Up to 3. Okay, awesome. And then let's say one person is asking if they, let's say they're home and they really need it to be cool and they opt out of an event. As long as they participate in other events, they're still able, it doesn't matter how many they opt out of, they'll still receive that participation incentive at the end of the season.
Yep, absolutely. So it doesn't matter how many events you participate in, as long as you're enrolled, you'll receive your participation bonus of $20 or $200, depending on what kind of customer you are. Yep,
Great.
as long as you enroll before August 15th.
Awesome. So just as long as it's before August 15th, you'll get that incentive. And can you speak more to the opt-out process? Is it as simple as just clicking opt out, or?
Yeah, Debbie, do you have the answer to that? You want to take this one?
Definitely, yeah, is pretty simple. You will have in your Wi-Fi thermostat a sign that you are on going through an event, and there you will find also the possibility. Normally, it's very clear, like a signal saying opt out. You push it, and you are out.
Awesome. Sounds nice and easy. Great. Let's see. Another question we got is, what makes a manufacturer eligible versus ineligible for the program?
I will take that one as well, Ayumi. In order for the program to be really to work, there is a lot of technology requirements behind the scene that allows that this communication between when utility needs to activate these thermostats and the fact that the thermostat can behave the way we want to. No, all manufacturers have that technology capability created, and that's why we are very clear about that whoever manufacturers participate in the program has to comply with certain communication rules in terms of protocols, and that's the reason why we have an authorized list of manufacturers that participate in ConnectedSolutions. We are working continuously to extend that list and to include as many manufacturers as possible, but definitely those technological requirements need to be addressed in order for the program to be successful.
Got it. Thanks, David. Another question we got has to do with the mini split eligibility. So I know Ayumi noted, David, that the program administrators are exploring the possibility of incorporating mini splits. Could you speak more to maybe why they're not eligible and when they may be?
Yes, definitely. We are, and this is something that we have had in our plan for the last 2 years. We have been working with big manufacturers of split heat pumps, and we believe we are closer to that goal of starting to have split heat pumps in the program. The issue right now is that communications requirements that I was talking about before in order to activate the devices hasn't been completed yet for this kind of program of heat pumps, and definitely is the angular stone for having a split system participating in ConnectedSolutions. We are, like I said, working with the most important manufacturers, and our hope is that if not this year, probably for sure next year, we will be able to allow split heat pumps to be part of ConnectedSolutions.
Awesome. That's really exciting. So it's more of like a technical limitation.
Yeah. And just to provide a very brief explanation, split heat pumps have normally they are controlled via Bluetooth or by a direct remote control that the manufacturer provides, and doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi connectivity. So that is one of the main reasons why we cannot control these kind of heat pumps, because we don't have the way to talk with them. Now we are pushing manufacturers in order to create those channels of communications, and hopefully that will be in the market very soon, and that will be the starting point for split heat pump participating in ConnectedSolutions.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for that answer. Well, those are all the questions that I see for now. So why don't we move on to the next slide? And if anyone has any last minute questions come through, we can always come back to Q&A. So just wanted to flag that these webinars have been part of our ConnectedSolutions series. So we did another one on smart thermostats. This is our second one. And then we are also doing 2 on the battery storage pathway of the ConnectedSolutions program. And our second one of that is going to be this Friday, July 10th at noon. So if you are also interested in the battery pathway, definitely join us then. You can register on our website, on our events page, at greenenergyconsumers.org/events. Next slide. And I haven't seen any other questions come through, but if you do have questions pop up afterwards, you can definitely reach out to us at Green Energy Consumers Alliance. Our emails are all there. They're always our first name at greenenergyconsumers.org. And then again, the ConnectedSolutions program is under the Mass Save program. So if you do have program-specific questions or enrollment questions, you can reach out to their customer support line, which is solutioncenter@masssave.com. And the phone number is 1-866-527-SAVE or 7283. And their call hours are listed there on the slide. But without seeing any additional questions, I think we will call it a night. Really appreciate you all joining us, and be on the lookout for a follow-up email with the recording and the slides. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.